Max Verstappen has finally spoken out after securing a surprising place on the starting grid alongside Lewis Hamilton in-session qualifying for the Chinese Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Liam Lawson was disappointed after a disastrous qualifying session that saw him drop to 20th position. The young Kiwi made no secret of his displeasure, detailing the reasons for his shocking result, and expressing his disappointment at the circumstances that derailed his chances. On the other hand, Oscar Piastri openly questioned McLaren's absurd strategy after watching Hamilton grab pole position. If you're interested, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and put a like. Let's get started. Max Verstappen was all smiles following a gripping sprint qualifying session in Shanghai, where he secured second place on the grid alongside Lewis Hamilton. The session saw the two multiple-time world champions share the front row for the first time since the 2023 Hungarian Grand Prix, reigniting one of Formula One's most electrifying rivalries. Verstappen's blistering lap of 1 minute, 30.867 seconds around the Shanghai International Circuit was nearly enough to claim pole position, but he was pipped by a mere 0.018 seconds by an in-form Hamilton. Had it not been for the Britain's last-gasp heroics, Verstappen's time would have stood as a new track record, a testament to just how intense the battle for the top spot was. His stand-in teammate, Liam Lawson, struggled to break into the top 10, raising concerns about the team's performance heading into qualifying. Even in the early phases of sprint qualifying, Verstappen wasn't featuring at the sharp end of the timesheets. Mercedes and McLaren seemed to have the upper hand throughout SQ1 and SQ2, leaving Red Bull with work to do. However, when it mattered most, Verstappen delivered a stunning performance in SQ3, maximizing the potential of the RB21 in a single flying lap. Reflecting on his qualifying performance, the Dutchman expressed his satisfaction with how his car performed, particularly given Red Bull's initial struggles. "I'm very happy. I think in FP1 we were quite a bit off the pace, so to be on the front row now is a fantastic result. Honestly, the lap felt really strong. It's always tough when you go from a medium compound to a soft without any proper references, but in the end I was just 18 thousandths off pole. Given how things were looking earlier, I don't think we should have even been on the front row. So yeah, I'm really pleased with P2. The RB21's development philosophy has seen Red Bull move away from the extreme, peaky nature of last year's RB20, which was sometimes difficult to handle despite its dominant speed. Instead, the team has focused on broadening the car's operating window, something technical director Pierre Wache has emphasized as key to maintaining competitiveness throughout the season. Verstappen acknowledged that the RB21 still has room for improvement, particularly when running with low fuel on the soft tire. "I don't think the balance is massively off. If anything, we're just a bit too slow. But this result is good for us. It gives everyone in the team a bit of a motivation boost to keep delivering strong laps and maximizing everything we have. You always need to do that, especially when you might not have the outright pace advantage." The McLaren duo of Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, who had shown promising speed in the earlier sessions before Norris made costly mistakes in SQ3, will be lining up behind him, eager to make up for lost ground. "I was really happy with how I drove in qualifying, but the race will be a different challenge. McLaren looked very fast throughout the session, until that final run, so I expect them to be a real threat. Keeping them behind won't be easy, but hopefully we can put up a good fight. We are all quite close in performance, not identical, but close enough to have some proper racing. That's something I'm looking forward to." With Verstappen and Hamilton locking out the front row, and the likes of McLaren and Ferrari lurking just behind, Saturday's sprint race promises to deliver high-stakes action. While Verstappen celebrated his front row start, Liam Lawson endured a frustrating sprint qualifying, ending up dead last in 20th place. The young New Zealander was furious with himself and his team after struggling with tire temperatures, which led to an off-track excursion and an early exit from SQ. Lawson initially posted a respectable lap that could have secured him a place in SQ2, but as the track conditions improved, most drivers found additional pace, except for him. Frustrated, he radioed into his engineer, Richard Wood, after being eliminated. "Mate, I'm really sorry, but I just, honestly, could not get the tires down." Speaking to the media afterward, Lawson elaborated on the issue, explaining that his attempt to cool the tires on track, rather than in the pits, backfired, leaving him with overheated rubber at the start of his crucial push lap. On the second lap, I went off. It's obviously a shame. The first lap wasn't bad, and we were looking to build from there, but we stayed out to try and cool the tires on track. To be honest, I really struggled to get the temps down before the second lap. So basically, we started too hot, and then I just struggled through the lap. It's frustrating. It's really disappointing because I think we started okay in qualifying. The first lap wasn't amazing, but it was solid. To be out because of something so frustrating is just tough to take. Our pace should have been a lot better than where we ended up. Now we have to focus on the sprint and learn as much as we can to improve before the main qualifying session for the Grand Prix. Lawson will have another opportunity to make amends in Saturday's Grand Prix qualifying, where he hopes to put his sprint qualifying nightmare behind him and secure a more competitive grid position for Sunday's race. Meanwhile, Oscar Piastri admitted that McLaren's strategic approach in SQ3 at the Shanghai International Circuit might have been a bit wrong, as the team lost out on pole position to Lewis Hamilton. McLaren had looked like the favorites after dominating SQ1 and SQ2, with either Piastri or teammate Lando Norris appearing set to take pole. However, their decision to attempt flying laps in SQ3 ultimately backfired. Hamilton, who clinched pole position, opted for a single run on fresh soft tires, taking advantage of sprint qualifying rules that only allow one set of tires per session. Despite this, Piastri still secured third on the grid, finishing within a tenth of both Hamilton and Verstappen. Norris, on the other hand, locked up at the final corner, ending his session in sixth place. Reflecting on the session, Piastri acknowledged that while McLaren had strong pace, their strategy in SQ3 let them down. I think we were probably quick at the wrong points. SQ1 and SQ2 felt good, but in SQ3 we tried something different. We went out much earlier to attempt 2 laps, and I'm not sure that was the best approach. It's something we need to analyze. The pace in the car is still very strong, and I'm confident we can fight from third tomorrow. It's been tough with the track surface. It's got a lot of grip, but it's also very peaky. Managing the car has been a challenge all day. Honestly, I think we did a good job of getting the car in a good window for sprint qualifying, but we may have got the run plan a bit wrong. It's something we can improve for tomorrow. With McLaren showing competitive pace, Piastri remains optimistic about the sprint race and the Grand Prix. The grip is much better than last season, which is nice, but there are still areas where we can improve. Hopefully, we can do a better job tomorrow and be in the mix.